a real player. You can put me on the roster. All about my cheese, I ain't worried about the pasta. Baby, nine, touchdown on the roster. Let's get up. Bomb like a feather. Screen spinning right. Predicting like the weather. Third rim a cup. Can't go without my medicine. And the post so quick. Big bag of feathers. Where is my letterman? I'm balling on these suckers. You know the money talk. You can ask Chris.
Welcome to the Side Action, episode 1 of season 8. My name is Jim Weggers, aka Wegs. Follow me on X and on Instagram at Wegspool.
And I'm Coop. You can check me on Instagram at Dalton Cooper, on X at Mr. Grumpy Gills. Again, we are the Side Action Podcast. Make sure to check us out on TikTok, because I know it's Jim's baby, and it's his pride and joy, so it'll mean the world to him.
Child for the summer, but hey, yeah. I mean, dude, the intro's awesome.
Yeah, I'm glad you like that.
OMTG the vet, that's my guy. I found him on TikTok. You go on TikTok when you find good things, and this guy has got that's old me versus new me part 2. We'll give him credit at the end, but that guy's the man. Hopefully we can get him on the podcast.
That'd be sick. He actually answers his DMs, which I couldn't believe.
He does. He answered me. I got to hit him back. Maybe we'll talk if we can get him on next week. We'll figure it out. But and we're on StreamYard. Look at this. We ended the season on StreamYard in 7, but now we're like fully StreamYarded. Yeah,
and as we go along, I'll have more banners and stuff. I didn't get a chance to make them tonight, but as we go through the season, I'll have more banners. So we'll, if you don't watch us on YouTube, I encourage that you do this year, because we'll have a little more visual audio or visual pleasure for you, if you will.
Yeah, and let's put some comments in. You don't want to see Dalton's face, because you just want to put me and my little thumbs up at the
Yeah, you and your big shoulders you got. That's what it is.
Yeah, big shoulders. Yeah, I'm wearing my tank top to show off these chicken wings. So Coop, what'd you do this summer, man? You've been busy. You had a birthday?
I turned 30. Yeah, I turned 30 10 days ago. So I'm officially in the club. So thank you to everybody that welcomed me to the 30-year-old and up club. Can already feel it in my knees. I started a new job this summer too, so that's been interesting. Getting that all situated. Did the softball thing this year. I won't steal too much of your thunder, because I see that you have it on the outline as well.
Yeah.
And nothing too crazy. Just living, day by day, baby. Iron sharpens iron. So
that's right.
Other than that, just been hanging out with Linnea whenever I can, and doing some festivities with her. And we have technically our anniversary is today, so she's put up with me for a whole year, if you can believe that.
Look at that.
Yeah. So all credit to her. She's definitely the best part of our relationship. So
there you go. You're learning quick. That's why I'm divorced twice. I didn't learn that. You did good. So, but I will say, the cool thing about this new gig, and I don't want to take too much away from what you're doing other than that, but man, you're covering the sky. You've covered the lid.
Oh yeah.
You get to be like styling and profiling, taking some great pictures and stuff.
Yeah, I'm doing it for the radio station out here in Elgin. So to your point, I totally forgot I've been doing that. But I do a lot of Sky home games. I got to do banana ball. Last Friday, I believe. So hockey season's right around the corner, so that'll definitely pick up when that happens. I think we're going to have 3 or 4 teams we're going to cover when it comes to hockey. So If you're ever bored on Saturday morning, you can check us out 8 to 10 a.m. on 1410 a.m. out here in Elgin. You can check us out on YouTube as well. So
you got to check that out. So
yeah,
for me, obviously typical summer, goofing around, volleyball, including today. It was actually pretty fun today. We had some nice co-ed action, 2 nets.
Nice.
I got to beat up on Scotty Green, Lee, and Tony, but it was fun. And then, free swingers. Another free swinger season. It was kind of like every other free swingers except 2022. We're like the best team in the league. We kick everybody's butt. We're playing great. We get to the playoffs, winning in the 7th, blow it. Should probably still come back and win, blow it. So, it was a tough loss.
We were down some injuries, too. The injury bug bit us at the wrong time. It really did.
Often does. Will Stanford, who's a baller, he has gotten hurt in that – usually in the playoffs. He's gotten hurt in the semis multiple times. He's probably our best player, but I got to figure out how to maybe I hire a masseuse like after week 6 or 7 to try to make sure he's limber enough to not pull a hammy. But and then last thing is like we're trying to little bit stuff, maybe Side Action Network. We're trying to expand a little bit. I was actually talking to Jackie today after playing because time to talk about Hag about the Crafts podcast I'm trying to kick off too, but the singles podcast kicked off 2 weeks ago. Whether I can get those ladies to show up again, I don't know, but check out Side Action Singles, which is pretty awesome. First podcast, and I know you did some clips. I'm trying to get them up on TikTok, which TikTok is resisting me. But other than that, just my job, yeah, whatever. Forget about that. That's what pays the bills, but this other stuff is the fun stuff.
Oh, 100%. 100%.
Yeah. So, for those new to the podcast, we do these great segments that Dalton came up with a couple of years ago. Who we take into the shed this week? Now, maybe it's for the whole summer. It doesn't have to be for the week. But who you got in the shed this week, Coop?
Yeah, I tried to keep it time sensitive. So I tried to keep mine specific to like the last couple days or so. Because I did think about a couple like over the summer, and I was like, we're kind of removed from that. So
sure.
the big one that stuck out to me was Anthony Richardson. Anthony Richardson got taken to the shed this week. Not only did he not read that he was hot in a preseason game, which was like the first thing you have to do as a quarterback, you have to be able to to adjust protection and know where a blitzer is coming from. Red 7. Anyway. Which he did not. He paid the price. He got I believe it was a dislocated finger on the throwing hand against Baltimore. But then, obviously, the Colts announced that Daniel Jones is going to be their starter this season. So it looks like the Anthony Richardson experience may be in jeopardy as far as if he's going to remain with the organization. The crazy thing to me is that he's 23 years old. Like, he's still younger than Shadur. He's still younger than Bo Nix. He's younger than basically every quarterback in the league.
Tyler Shaw is like 30 years old, right?
Yes, I think he's 28, but yeah, basically. Yeah, so Anthony Richardson, unfortunately, him and his agent are not in the best of places right now, and that's why they're in the shed.
Welcome to the shed. It's right over here. It's getting bigger. Bigger every year.
Yeah.
Well, I guess I'll piggyback on that part. I will put the Browns and Colts in the shed. I guess I understand why the Colts are starting Daniel Jones, but I get it. The guy's got a dislocated finger. Fine. Maybe he can play, maybe he can't. But they're basically, like you said, going away from Richardson, which is tough because they did burn a first-round pick on him. Daniel Jones, we'll see if he can, be that comeback player getting kicked off the Giants last year. But the Browns, too, like, I don't know. They've got like 17 quarterbacks in camp, and they still go with Flacco. I know he's a great one. I know you proposed. You love Flacco, but
you love Flacco.
Why did you trade for Kenny Pickett? What are you doing? I don't think that the final rosters haven't been made, but there's no way they're carrying 4 or 5 quarterbacks.
Oh, they will. They're going to carry 4. I'd be willing to bet on it.
They've only got like 2 running backs. That's all you need to go in the season. But yeah, I'm putting both those teams in the shed. I don't understand what they're doing exactly, but I'm kind of rooting for Jones in a way, but I was a Richardson guy. I drafted him in fantasy a couple years ago. He can chuck it. He just can't hit the short throw. He can really chuck it. He can throw it 60 yards. Great. He just can't.
Right. Yeah, we'll see if spending any time in Minnesota helped out his career, too. That's what I'm really curious to see.
Yeah. I heard a weird stat about Jones, not to get him aside, but he had when you look at a list of people that threw for 3,000 yards and ran for 700 yards, it's the likes of Josh Allen, Lamar Jackson, and Daniel Jones. Something doesn't fit in this pattern. So, all right, well, let's flip it. Club dub. Let's get positive.
Did you not do your other shed? You had another shed. Did you want to do that one?
Oh yeah, I can't forget about.
Because I was curious to hear about this.
Yeah. So okay, I could go on for a whole podcast about this. The AVP. So the professional volleyball, beach volleyball group, which I really have loved over the years. Brandy Wilkerson doesn't know she's going to be my next wife, but she's there. But they changed to a league. They did it at the end of last year. There's a league this year. The league championship is here in Chicago next week. But this is a goofball thing. The big open in Chicago used to be, 3 days of amazing volleyball, tons of matches. You could be at the outer courts and basically go there for free, maybe sneak in some drinks, and have a great day. Now they're going to have 2 days. On Saturday, there's only 4 matches. You're paying $45 to see 4 matches. And you have to only be in the main. There's only one main stadium because there's only 4 matches. And then on Sunday, because this is the league championship, they're basically inviting the top 1 through 6 teams. 3 through 6 are playing to get to 2 spots. Then they're going to have the semis on Sunday, finals, and then third place games. So there's 6 matches on Sunday with the men's and women's. But they're screwing people. It's not just the dollars. It's like they don't know how to monetize this league. It's really stupid. And I feel bad because I was in Hawaii, obviously, last year a lot. Talked in a buddy to come, and he doesn't know any better, thankfully, but he's coming to Chicago, first time to see Chicago, been to Chicago, first time ever, and he's going to go to the AVP. We got tickets both days. And to me, I'm like, this kind of sucks compared to what we used to get. But so, yeah, AVP League, you're in the shed.
Yeah.
Let me and our pan run it. We were discussing on Saturday. We could give me a shot.
Yeah, I mean, it couldn't get any worse, could it? I mean, honestly. As long as you don't take away the big inflatable volleyball they have for photo opportunities, I think we're doing okay.
The other thing that's cool about Oak, where they do it at Oak Street, is like you see the players that like go in the water, like we do. We get hot to go in the water and come out, and then they come out in new suits because Brandy's a goddess and all that. I will see Brandy. I'm only going for Brandy, obviously. So if she gets eliminated day 1, I'll be like, listen, Jeff, I know you came all the way from Hawaii to see this. I'll see you. See you later. We'll catch up after the matches.
Oh boy.
All right, you're good. Thanks for catching that. So, okay, Club Dub, positivity. Let's turn it around. You've got kind of a major Club Dub one here who the guy is kicking butt.
Oh, yeah.
What are we going with, your guy?
Yeah. I wanted to keep it a little relative in time as far as that goes. Club Dub was almost very extensive, but I narrowed it down to one human, and that is Scotty Scheffler. He isn't Club Dub. He's coming off a BMW championship win, which is the way he came back in that tournament was pretty cool, chipping in on, I believe it was 17, or really like the trademark moment of that tournament. But since March 1st of 2024, Scotty Scheffler has a better winning percentage at 41% than the following teams: the 49ers, the Panthers, the Bears, the Saints, the Jets, the Jaguars, the Patriots, the Raiders, the Browns, the Giants, the Titans, White Sox, Rockies, Portland Trail Blazers, 76ers, Pelicans, Nets, Raptors, Hornets, Wizards, and the Utah Jazz. Scotty Scheffler has a better winning percentage than all of those teams, which is just insane. Yeah, like he's entering the Tiger stratosphere in some regards. He's never going to be Tiger. It's very unfair to compare the two, but he's definitely achieving things we haven't seen in a long time.
Well, and he going into the final. This is the finals this week, right?
Yeah, and he's tied for second right now, or he's in second. I think he shot 700 today.
He's +1. He was +150 to win it. The next guy in the odds is like +750. So he's like, he's like a shoo-in more or less in golf terms. I mean, yeah. So he's just the man, dominating, and he's great. He's great.
Yeah.
He also appeared in Happy Gilmore, too. I don't know if you saw that. He was in there. It's pretty funny. He kind of made fun of himself being, he was arrested and all that stuff.
Yeah.
Nice little poking fun of himself. So, well, you mentioned it before at my Club Dub, and there's got to be plenty of room because it seems like this roster gets bigger and bigger. The Savannah Bananas, baby. They came to town last week. You covered them on Friday. They were here also on Saturday. They did something that the White Sox haven't been able to do in probably like 8 years, and that's sell out the, I don't know if it's G-Rate or Rate Stadium now. And they did it 2 nights in a row. I mean, I guess if I could do a backflip catching a fly ball too, I might get some people to show up. But those guys are awesome. I love it. And they had Przinski, and they had Mark Burley. They had Konerko. So I guess they were just for that event. But it's a really cool thing that they put together.
Yeah, no, it's good. It's fun for the entire family. And they do, it's kind of like a minor league game where they have like, entertainment in between innings and stuff like that. But can confirm the ball they play with is like a regular baseball. I got hit, like one of the balls off the net came down. I tried to kick it, like kick save with my foot. took it right to the ankle.
Ooh.
And I did not feel good. But yeah, no, great time. Saturday was a little tough. I didn't go Saturday, thank God, because it rained and people just got dumped on. But yeah, no, great time. If the Bananas come to your town, great organization. The players are awesome. They're very down to earth. They understand what's going on, why they're there. So they're not none of them are very pompous or assholes or anything like that. So they're more happy to sign autographs and say hello and do all that stuff. So I thought here's
a question really for you: who do they play when they go play these games?
What do you mean? Who do they play? They
play the other teams. Play somebody else?
Yeah, in Chicago they played the Firefighters, which next year there'll be 6 teams in Banana Ball. I think there's 4 right now.
Okay.
It's the Party Animals, the Firefighters, and there's obviously one other team outside of the Bananas, and I can't recall the name off the top of my head. But yeah, next year there's going to be 6 teams. And just a little insider tip, there eventually might be home cities to where they have Banana Ball League will be its own thing. The Party Animals will be in Vegas, and the Firefighters will be in New Jersey, and obviously the Bananas are in Georgia and everything in between. So
it's such a great idea. It makes baseball a little more fun. We know that baseball can be whatever. They've shortened the games, but you still lose interest. This way, it's fun. I mean, it's taken the world by storm. I saw them for the first time. I went to Jeremy's birthday party a couple weeks ago, and I'm like, what the hell's going on? These guys are all in yellow and catching the ball behind their back and doing stuff. It was fun.
Yeah, that's a good time.
And then a real baseball team in the major leagues is the Brewers, dude. This team,
they never lose.
Lose a double header to the Cubs the other day. The Cubs won again, I think, today or whatever.
No, they lost today.
This thing, they had a 14-game winning streak before that little losing streak. The Brewers came out and are just taking it by storm. They're winning the National League right now. They're leading by, I guess about 5 games after they lost today. But they're incredible, man. The Brew Crew, it's exciting to see, even though, I'm not a pro Cubs. I'm not anti-Cubs, but I'm not pro.
Right.
I like to see these teams come out of nowhere and catch fire. Do you think that they'll carry this through, or they'll run out of gas come the postseason?
No, I don't think they'll have. I don't think they have the bats. They always get small in the postseason. I almost think that's the best reason why the Cubs want to play the Brewers in the first round is because the Brewers have a history of getting smaller in these big moments. So I'll believe it when I see it.
For now, Brewers, Bananas, go in Club Dub, have yourself a time, show those guys how to catch behind their back, and the Brewers might be doing something.
Yeah. I have a future on the Padres too, so I'm kind of biased also. So
I gotcha.
Yeah.
All right, well, let's jump into the college football preview. This is going to be fairly lengthy. We'll try to get through it quickly. I know you have more insights than I do, but I try to throw down a bunch of information, and I won't go through every number put on this outline, Coop, just for your warning. But
cool.
The way we'll break this down is by conference, and then we talk about a specific team, their conference odds, which oftentimes match their playoff odds in some cases, their playoff odds, and then the title odds. And so we know the world is basically comprised of 2 different conferences with a bunch of other guys. You got the Big Ten and the SEC, Ohio State being the champs, returning. They're the 3rd-ranked team going into the season, plus 150 for the conference, minus 500 for the playoffs, almost guaranteed supposedly, and plus 500 for the title. They're kind of out there as kind of the lead dog out there. And then you've got Penn State, they got great odds, Oregon, Michigan, and a bunch of other teams, including Illinois.
Yeah.
Do you think that Penn State can actually do it? Do you think that James Franklin, can he win the big game and get ahead of Ohio State in this conference?
Maybe. My favorite bet in this conference, though, is the over-under on Penn State. Their over-under is at 10.5, I believe, or 10. I would smash that. They literally have 2 hard games on their schedule, and it's Ohio State, and I believe it might be. I don't even think it's Oregon. I think it's a different game. I can't remember, but they only have a 2-game season. So if they split those 2 games, you've already won your bet. So that's my favorite bet of this conference. My other favorite bet was the under on Iowa as well.
Okay.
I think they were over under. I think it was 8.5 or 7.5, one or the other. But I just like the under here. I mean, obviously Kirk Ferentz has been really good at Iowa. They've been consistent, but Something about their quarterback play. I don't think it's going to be as consistent this year. I don't think they have enough skill to overcome and score enough points, especially since some of these other Big Ten teams are kind of on the rise. And then the other sneaky pick I had was Oregon. I like the under on their team total. I don't think Oregon is going to be as good as they were last year. Obviously, Dylan Gabriel is gone.
Right.
The transfer portal this year is everything I've been reading is not as I guess touted as far as skill players goes as years past. So Oregon was the number one transfer portal team, I believe. They had the most players out of the transfer portal that they had acquired. So I just think from that perspective, if being number one this year is not the same as being number one last year or years previous. So I think in that regard, I just don't think they have a lot of talent that's going to gel as quickly as you would maybe think. So I think I would take the under on Oregon. So, But to answer your Penn State question, yeah, if there was, I think I would rather put money on Penn State than put money on Ohio State just because of the quarterback situations.
So, yeah, they're plus 200 for the conference, minus 335 for the playoff, and plus 600 for the title. We can save the title stuff there. But so you like their over, but you maybe plus 200 on the conference.
Yeah, like I said, I would, if I'm going to take any bet, I'm taking the Penn State over on the win total. That's the one I feel most comfortable with for sure.
Are there any dark horses in this conference that you like? Yeah, Nebraska's.
Illinois.
Illinois
is the only one that I would maybe venture a guess on as to I could see them being a playoff team. I could see them squeaking in and being a playoff team. So they're going to play good defense this year. Yeah, I was going to say they
5-1.
I like the odds. They do have a little bit of a tougher schedule. They got USC early on, which I think is going to be a good measuring stick game because we don't know what USC is necessarily going to be. Is going to be. So we'll see. But as far as dark horses, yeah, that's probably where I would lean.
Yeah.
And you could maybe UCLA is interesting, but they're out their top 3 wide receivers right now, and I don't think their best wide receiver is going to be back until October. So I can't get behind it. So I would say Illinois if you had to put a gun to my head.
Okay. So you don't like Dylan, what is his name? Dylan Raiola in Nebraska?
Yeah, I mean, Nebraska's going to be okay, but I'll believe when I see it.
So right now you're thinking Ohio State, Penn State in the playoff, maybe Illinois sneaks in.
Yeah, I could see Illinois sneaking in because they're doing 12 teams, right? Yeah, I could see Illinois sneaking in.
Is it 12 this year? Oh, Jesus. Okay. I did some math wrong. My bad. And then the SEC, of course, is the other, gigantor conference. You got tons of ranked teams. You got, what is that, 6 ranked teams, 8 ranked teams in this one. 9, I'm sorry. Goddamn. So Texas is the number 1 ranked team. They've got Arch Manning. Obviously, he's the big talk. They're plus 300 for the SEC, minus 400 to make the playoff, and plus 650 for the title. You get the likes of Alabama, Georgia, and LSU in the top 10, and then you've got other teams like A&M, Ole Miss, Florida, South Carolina, and Oklahoma in the top 25. So it seems like this year the SEC has quote-unquote better teams than the Big Ten. We'll see how that plays out. Do you see anybody outside of Texas to win this conference?
Oh, yeah. Yeah. I love Alabama this year.
Really?
I do, yeah.
Kalen DeBoer's, he figured it out.
Yeah, their over-under is at 9.5, I believe, is their season over. And I'd hammer that over, 100%. Yeah, 100%. I think just another year. And plus, everything I see from Alabama fans is just negativity. And that usually means that their team's actually probably pretty good. They're just very pessimistic about it. So, I like Alabama. They're my dark horse to win the national championship.
Wow.
I think
800.
I think that's good value. I think it's good money as well. The only thing I worry about, too, is when they make the bracket for the 12 teams, if they're going to pin the same teams in the same conference against one another. That way they don't have 2 SEC teams in the championship if they can, obviously avoid it. But I think that's what we're destined for at the end of the year. I think we're destined for an SEC championship game for the college football playoff. So, I love Alabama. Obviously, Texas is good. Georgia's good. I'm a little hesitant on LSU just because I believe they're replacing 3 starting linemen or 4 starting linemen from last year.
Okay.
Which obviously continuity and offensive line for any football team is always a question, and it's always a weakness if it's not, ready to go. That could be literally the detriment of your own team. So I'm a little worried on there. I don't know how to feel about Auburn. Auburn has literally 3 different quarterbacks and 3 different call players and or play callers, and I'm just not sure if you have 3 quarterbacks, if you actually have one.
Right.
So I'd be a little pessimistic on Auburn. And then as far as dark horses, I do like Oklahoma. I think Oklahoma could be really good this year. They play Michigan week 2. I think Michigan's going to be in big trouble just because that Sooner defense is going to be really good. And as long as they don't turn the ball over, I think they could start 5-0. I really do. I think if Oklahoma gets through week 2, I think they're probably going to start 5-0 going into that game with Texas. And then we'll find out who Oklahoma is for real. But there was and then for the other SEC team, I believe it was Arkansas. No, maybe it was Missouri. It was Arkansas or Missouri. I liked one of those unders because I think one of them was at 4.5, and the other was at like 5.5. So if you're looking at the book, whichever one was the 5.5, I believe it was Missouri. I do like their under this year as well. So
gotcha.
They lost a couple key players in the portal.
Yeah, LSU opens up at Clemson. We'll talk about them in a minute. They're supposed to be really good. That'll be a great game. Week 1, not week 0, next weekend. And for some reason, last year, because of the way it finished, I know that means nothing in college football, but I like the way Florida finished. Going to be my little dark horse here, make the playoff. But it's a deep.
Put the crack pipe down. Yeah. Also, it was Kentucky. It wasn't Missouri. It was Kentucky. I like the under.
Okay.
Sorry. I just found that on my, Kentucky under. 4.5, I believe, was the over-under. It was 4.5.
I've been hearing a lot about Oklahoma, like being that this is the year that they're going to put it together and, Boomer Sooner. So if they can, and obviously they always play Texas, so we'll see when that game rolls around.
Yeah.
So you think that there's 12, they're gonna get like 4 or 5 teams in there?
I would say 4. I think if Oklahoma gets to 9-3 on the season, I think that'll be the bubble. That will be the discussion bubble, is how many 9-3 teams there are. If they get to 8-4, maybe. It depends on what other situations look like. But I think 9-3, I think they're going to make the playoffs if they finish the season 9-3.
Gotcha.
100%.
So the ACC has a couple of teams that are of consideration. We just mentioned Clemson. They're supposed to be great. What's the names? Clay?
Wow, words are hard. Klublick, I think. Klublick.
He's the favorite. We'll talk about the Heisman stuff in a minute, but they're the 4th-ranked team right now, minus 143 to win the ACC, minus 250 to make the playoff, and plus 110. They win that game against LSU. That goes a long way out of conference, obviously at home. You've still got Miami there, Louisville, and SMU. 3 of those teams are ranked. Louisville's not ranked, but SMU's looks like they had their year. They're clearly not as better, to the odds makers this year. They're way lower, not just to make the playoff, but just even to win the conference, plus 1150, which was crazy.
Yeah.
So do you like anybody outside Clemson in this conference?
Yeah, Louisville. I like Louisville. Yeah, if you watch the game of Louisville and Clemson last year, Louisville did beat them by 10, but from a physical standpoint, Louisville was in that game. They controlled that game. The score was not indicative of how well Louisville played and dominated Clemson in that game. So Clemson is also starting another older quarterback. I believe they got one of the transfer. He's like 26 years old. I can't remember his name off the top of my head, but I do like the older quarterbacks, especially in college.
You mean Louisville?
Yeah, Louisville's quarterback is like 26, I think. So he's an older fella. I just like that. And then I'm with Vegas, or I'm with the odds maker. I'm fading SMU. I'd take their under. I think their over-under is like 8.5 or 9.5. I would take the under. I think if they win 7 games and they're bowl eligible, I think it's a good season. I don't see the magic happening again, and I would definitely fade them. But the ACC is just it's a shit show. There's one. It's so hard to tell who's going to be good in this conference and who's going to be bad. We know there's a lot of teams that are going to be bad, and I guess I said that backwards. It's a lot easier to tell who's going to be bad than who's going to be good.
So probably only a one team.
Unless UNC comes out of nowhere, maybe. You know what I mean? So
yeah,
we'll see.
If Louisville wins and Clemson's right there, maybe they'll both get it.
Yeah.
The Big 12, last year kind of surprised some people, especially with Arizona State last year. Kansas State's on top, though, of the odds, plus 400 to win the conference. Also the same odds to win to get in the playoff, and plus 8,000 to win it all. So it's a long shot. Arizona State's actually ranked higher at 11, but their odds are poor at plus 450 for the playoff and conference, and plus 10,000 to win it all. Texas Tech is ranked. Iowa State's ranked. But there's some other teams with better odds. Baylor, a lot of teams love Baylor the way they closed last year. I know you always love Utah for some reason. TCU, is there any teams outside? I mean, Kansas State and I think it's Iowa State play week 1, right?
Yeah, they play week 0. They play in Ireland. Yeah, they play in Dublin.
Ireland game.
Yeah, it's this coming weekend.
Yeah, that's a good game. That's on Saturday, 11 a.m. Central.
Yep.
That's kind of a big game when you get to the conference right
Yeah,
away.
100%.
Who do you like in this conference?
It's tough. This is just like the ACC in my opinion. It's so hard to tell who's going to be good. It's so much easier to tell. I could tell you like 3 or 4 teams that are going to be bad. If I had to pick one, I think I would go. I'm stuck between Kansas State and Iowa State, to be honest. Which makes me just want to pick Arizona State just because it's the odd man out that I don't have any feelings for. So that's probably where I would go. But Iowa State's replacing 2 NFL wide receivers. They still have Matt Campbell, which I really like as a head coach. And he's been doing it for 8 or 9 years. His defense is always solid. So I would prefer that. Kansas State obviously has the same quarterback returning. I can't remember his name off the top of my head. But dual threat quarterback, Avery Johnson, I think might be his name. But they're replacing 4 offensive starters, offensive linemen, I believe, as well. So the continuity there might be a little sketchy. We're going to find the first game might be literally the tie break, whoever wins the conference, literally. So it's kind of interesting. They have it. The first week of the season might actually come back to bite somebody in the ass in 10 weeks. But yeah, that's kind of where I think it's those 3. I don't see enough firepower out of Utah or TCU or Baylor. I just don't see it. I would fade Texas Tech. I'm not a big fan. I would bet the under on their win total. I think they had a lot of luck last year, like turnover wise and stuff like that. I think you're going to see a big regression in that form. So yeah, gun to my head, I'll probably go Arizona State because that's the one team I really don't have the biggest feelings about. So I would lean that way. Yeah.
No, not listed is the Colorado Buffaloes. They're not supposed to be very good this year.
No, I would definitely bet the under on them too. I think it was 4.5 or 5.5. I would go under.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
The other teams to consider, you got Notre Dame, of course. They're 6th ranked in the country. They're independent. They're minus 200 for the playoff, plus 1,000 to the championship. So they have really good odds on both of those. Obviously coming off a really strong season. Really like the coach there. Assuming they're going to be really good again, do they have any tripwire games early out of a conference, but out of games that they really have to win, I guess?
They do have Boise coming to Notre Dame. They have obviously they have USC as well. They open with Miami, I believe, too. Yeah, they go Miami, Texas A&M. Okay, yeah, this is coming back to me a little bit. So
2 months, yeah.
After the first 2 games, they get a little bit of a break, and then they go Notre Dame, A&M, Purdue, Arkansas, Boise State, North Carolina State. So it's not the most daunting LOL out of conference schedule, but I just think if they can split the first 2 games, I think I could see them winning out, but I could also see them stubbing their toe against maybe USC or maybe a Pittsburgh or somebody, because they always have one stinker. Like they got beat by Northern Illinois last year. So but yeah, I could definitely they'll probably be in the playoff again. I think it's a better chance they make the playoff than they don't. If they don't make the playoff, it's probably because of catastrophic injuries to somebody or some group of
if they get past USC and they have 1 loss, I mean, they got Boston College, Navy, Pitt, Syracuse, Stanford, please.
Yeah.
They're gonna roll. So
yeah.
I agree with you. They do play Arkansas, like you said, you like them in general. And then Boise, you mentioned them. They're ranked. They're top they're the 25th, and they usually dominate the Mountain West, but they do play a little tougher schedule, which is good with Notre Dame. They got to play that game well. They play my mighty Rams the second to last game. UNLV has been good in the past. I don't know if they're going to be good this year. The rest of their non-conference, they're playing Eastern Washington and South Florida. So South Florida might be decent, but I don't know. Other than that, it's Mountain West, Appalachian State. So they should be near undefeated if they can get through the first. If they can, besides Notre Dame, they'll probably be undefeated.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see. South Florida, the American is supposed to be a little bit tougher this year from top to bottom. So what that means for Boise State, we'll see. But South Florida could surprise some people this year.
Gotcha. So let's talk about some awards before we get into kind of playoff stuff. You talk about Cade Klubnik, because his name, Klubnik, at plus 700 for the Heisman. You got Arch Manning plus 700 too. Garrett Nussmeier for LSU plus 700. So those are the top three dogs. You got Jeremiah Smith plus 1,000, the wide receiver. We'll come back to him in a minute. Drew Aller at plus 1,500, and Carson Beck, who's now in Miami, at plus 2,000. My only comment about Jeremiah Smith, who I think is probably the best football player of this group, is that in order to win, obviously he had Travis Hunter last year as a receiver, but it wasn't his receiving numbers. It's because he played both ways. Because he put up some decent numbers, 96 receptions, not even 1,300 yards, 15 touchdowns. The last time he really had a receiver that was pure receiver was Devontae Smith in 2020, who had 117 receptions, almost 1,900 yards, and 23 touchdowns. So the question is, can Jeremiah Smith, who last year he had a good initial rookie year, so to speak, he had 41 catches, 541 yards, and 8 touchdowns. He's got to almost triple that production. Do you think he can do it? I just don't think he can do it.
I think he can do it. I think him having so much of a supporting cast around him makes it difficult because everybody's going to focus on him. But I believe that Alabama, I think, had John Mechie that year that Devonta Smith went off and did these crazy numbers. Because I think one of the other wide receivers got hurt too. Is Mechie and Smith and somebody else.
Okay.
Was it Waddle? Was it Jalen Waddle who maybe got hurt?
Maybe. He was on that team.
But, yeah, to answer your question, 100%. Jeremiah Smith could definitely do that. He's arguably the best wide receiver that maybe college football has ever seen, just because the way he's built and what he can do, his intangibles and stuff like that. But I'm leaning Drew Aller. This is my preseason pick is Drew Aller. I'm high on Penn State, obviously. Like I said, I took the over on their win total. I think they maybe lose one game this year, and it's either Ohio State or and again, I cannot remember their schedule. I know they only had 2 games, but maybe Ohio State's the only place they stub their toe. Drew Aller also is kind of a dual threat. He's mobile. He can move in the pocket too, so he could definitely kind of maybe scrounge some touchdowns that way in the goal line. But I just think it's a good number. It's the right position. He's a quarterback. He's on a team that's probably going to be in the postseason, and he's plus 50. He's 15-1. So and it just kind of fits the kind of the storyline too. Like Penn State hasn't won anything. They've always been known as the team that chokes. So if they go on and have a good season and they finally beat Ohio State and everything else, I think the storyline fits with his Heisman moment of them beating Ohio State and moving forward.
Well, he's definitely. It's plus 1,500 for him to win the Heisman. It's like plus 600 to win the title. For Penn State, it's a better value. To your point, Penn State has Oregon. That's the 27th of September at home, and then they play at Ohio State on November 1st. They play against Indiana, but we'll see if they can do what they did last year. Other than that, you're right. Nebraska's at home, second to last game. Not a lot of tough games. They're non-conferences.
Yeah.
Walk in the park, Nevada, Florida National, and Nova. That's not really, a daunting non-conference James Franklin.
Yeah, and they get Oregon at home. So
I get it. At home, 27th, right? So let's talk, and I kind of screwed this up. I didn't do 12 teams. I did 8, but
I did 8 too. Don't worry.
I have to figure out. But I'll go first. You've been going leading. I think we're quite a bit different, actually. I mean, I think to me it's like Clemson. If they win this first game, I don't know. We disagree on the ACC, but I think they're going to probably have a good record. They might be undefeated. Would they deserve the number one? Not sure. But when I look at Texas, Ohio State, and Penn State, they got to run a gauntlet. You know what I mean? Like for them to have no losses is going to be tough. Whereas Clemson can be undefeated. So I got them at the 1 seed right now. I think,
wow, the 1 seed.
Yeah, these are my seeds. These are my seeds.
Oh, I didn't. Okay, I didn't list mine in the seed order. Sorry.
Any way you want, but I've got Clemson, Texas, Ohio State, 1, 2, 3.
Wow.
Game 4, Penn State 5, Georgia, Kansas State, Florida are my top 8.
Okay.
Whether that plays out or not, and then my semis would be Clemson against Penn State, Texas against Ohio State, and then I have Texas over Penn State in the championship. I want James Franklin. I root for him. He's a Jimmy, like me.
Yeah.
But I think they're going to make it to the title game. I don't know if they can win it.
Okay. No, I like that. I think, okay. So who do you think is going to win week 1 between Texas and Ohio State then, since you have them rematching in the semis?
I think Texas is going to beat them.
The sweep. You think Texas is going to season sweep them?
I do.
Okay.
I do.
Okay. That's interesting. I like that.
I think that Ohio State lost a lot last year in the draft. And as much as Ryan Day, he showed me something in the playoff, not necessarily regular season last year. But let's see. I mean, look, they reload. I mean, like anybody else. But
yeah,
can Penn State do it? They got to. I'm still showing Ohio State being in the conference, but if push comes to shove, I think they're going to lose the big game this year. Ohio State.
Gotcha. Okay. Well, my 8 teams. This isn't in any particular order, but I had Alabama, Ohio State, Penn State, Texas, LSU, Georgia, Arizona State, and Clemson.
Okay.
My championship game, which again, depending on how the bracket would unfold, I think it's going to be Alabama over Georgia. I think we're going to get a rematch from a couple of years ago. It was like 2021.
Yeah.
I think the SEC is going to reestablish themselves this coming year, especially all the chat of like expanding the playoff to like 24 or 28 teams by the Big Ten. I think the SEC is going to like take that a little personal, and they're definitely going to come out for vengeance this year. So I like Alabama. I like that no one's really talking about Alabama, and I think that's a very dangerous position to put Alabama in.
No, I don't disagree. Kellen DeBoer is going to show me something. Last year wasn't great. We'll see. So you basically don't have Notre Dame in the top 8, which is fine. That's fair. And then you have.
I do think they make the playoff, though. In all fairness, I think they do make the playoff.
Yeah, and I think they're going to be a top seed because of their record. I think they're going to be, if they have one loss, maybe, but they could be undefeated.
I could see a 2-loss SEC or Big Ten team being ranked over them if they have that one loss, though. So that's the only hesitancy I have.
No, I get you. But all SEC, I do have the SEC still winning in Texas, but Penn State, so exciting.
Yeah.
Not that far off. I don't feel that
That's subject to change. That is subject to change. I will tell you that right now.
Subject to change, right? Week over week.
Oh, yeah.
Well, good. So what do you got going this weekend?
This weekend, we are doing a fishing trip on Saturday in Lake Geneva. We have some other festivities planned as well on Saturday.
You're not doing the swerve?
No, unfortunately not. We're doing an anniversary trip, if you will.
Oh. Is it secret?
Part of it, yeah.
Okay.
Part of it is. So, and we have so many listeners that it's going to ruin it. But
yeah. We get it.
Yeah. But, other than that, nothing crazy. I think Sunday is going to be a rest and recharge. And as far as, like, the next week, nothing. I don't think anything too crazy is going on. Anything I could think of. I think we're going to do a Kane County game maybe next week at some point, maybe Wednesday. But, yeah, the world keeps moving.
Nice.
Yeah. I'm going to be sad to miss everybody on Saturday, though. So I'll miss you.
Me too. I'm not going to be. I got the fantasy draft. I go up to Fox Lake tomorrow with the crew. It's great. The Borkowskis host us. It's a very nice place. They have a beautiful home, pool, whatever. So the draft kicks off around 1. We'll see if I can rush back to do the finals, but I'm going to do my best. I did rent a car, so I'll be mobile, but not sure I can get back on time. And then Sunday's kind of wide open. So.
Yeah. Well, if you're ever opening that league, you let me know.
Yeah, that one. It's like a married couples league kind of thing, and
oh, nice, which you fit right in with. Yeah.
So it's a 14-team league. It's brutal. I'll be launching my top 150 tomorrow for the drafts if you want that on Wegs Pool. But,
nice.
We'll plug. But, well, good, man. Well, I forgot if we talked at the beginning. Follow us at Side Action Pod on X.
Oh, yeah.
Podcast on Instagram. Follow me at Wegs Pool on X and on Instagram. Hey, let's get some followers, get some likes, get some comments.
Yeah, subscribe.
Subscribe. Do what you got to do here.
Yeah. And we're not begging. We're asking. There's a difference.
Yeah, just a friendly request.
Just a reminder. Yeah, absolutely. Well, I'm Coop. You can check me on Instagram at Dalton Cooper and on X at Mr. Grumpy Gills. Make sure to check us out at Side Action Pod on TikTok to get all of your side action consumption, which that might be another podcast. I like that name, Side Action Consumption. But anyway.
All I got to tell you is there was a comment of the Side Action Network expansion, and we discussed, obviously, the singles one. I talked about the crafts one. There's another one that I can't mention on the air.
Okay.
You have to look at the comment.
Top secret, yeah.
It has to do with people you can meet in Vegas that maybe you pay to spend time with.
Nice.
That was Jackie's suggestion. I was like, what, Jackie?
Okay. I mean, that is side action if you think about it.
A lot of side action going on.
Fair enough.
All right, everybody. Take care.
That's a wrap for this episode of the Side Action Podcast. We appreciate all of your listens, and thank you for joining us. We'll see you all again next week.
Side Action Podcast, its owners and associates take no responsibility for the opinions or statements made by the show hosts or guests. Statements or show topics are not necessarily the beliefs of this podcast, and opinions of the show hosts and guests may conflict. Individuals following the advice given on the podcast accept their own risk of loss, as the Side Action Podcast, its owners, hosts, associates, or guests will not guarantee any advice given. The opinions and advice given are for entertainment purposes only. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Intro credit to OTMG the Vet, Old Me versus Young Me Part 2.